Hi Year 5 and welcome to the narrative lesson 8. Okay, we're going to write the ending of your story today. Right, okay, so the end of a story ties everything together and can bring the story full circle. Okay, so in terms of the Lorax, okay, at the end we see that the boys come to hear the story of the Lorax and about what happened. And the one, so he's up in his house, he's not coming down, but he does give the boy the last truffle seed, and it ends with almost a moral of the story, doesn't it? We had a lesson on that. So, I've put, you could end it giving the reader a piece of advice arising from your story, making them feel included. Is there a moral you want to pass on? Now, I've thought about this, and I thought, in some ways, the Lorax moral wasn't completely clear. It was because we were learning about the rainforest as well, so we understood about deforestation. Okay, but now that we have more information on that, is there a way that you can deliver that to your reader in a more obvious way? Okay, so could you say something along the lines of, we need to take care of the trees? Okay, or something like, I hope this has been a lesson to everyone and that we start to look after the trees a lot more as they're so important. Okay, you could say something like that. Now, a sentence, an ending, sorry, you need to be careful. A lot of the time we rush the ending. We do so much of the story, but we tend to rush the ending. Okay, we need to be careful with that. We need to make sure we round it off really well. Okay, make sure you mention all the characters. Tell me where they've gone. Okay, or whether they're still there together. Okay, it might be that the one was up in his little crooked house, and you might want to say that. But where's the Lorax? You could either say that he's not been seen ever again. Okay, and think about you as the boy. Okay, what are you doing now? Are you going out and living life as you've seen it? Are you chopping down trees, or are you making moves to save them? Okay, don't just round it off really quickly. So, as always, the same list again, things to include thoughts and feelings of characters. So, now that you've given them the resolution, what have they done with that? Dialogue, as always, description, dramatic statements, action, and variety of punctuation. Now, this is really key, okay? Don't try to wrap up your story too quickly. Read it through, check if it all makes sense. Avoid the trick ending. He woke up and it was all a dream. There's so many times we hear that, okay? Or that it all been magic or something like that that doesn't mean anything. This is quite fortunate that this statement, okay, let me just go back. This statement, you are able to give a moral of this story. There is meant to be a lesson behind it. Okay, so make sure that's very clear in your ending paragraph. Okay, because when I come to read these, I want to be able to feel that sense of, right, we have a responsibility that we need to be protecting the trees as well. We understand they need to be used. However, we've got to be a little bit thoughtful about it, don't we? A little bit careful. Okay, so I do not want to see any of them. He woke up and it was all a dream. Okay, please don't do any of those. Right, as always, did it make sense? Did that paragraph make sense once you've written it? Have you got your Alan Pete sense in there? Because in there, you may want to have, if I read a couple out to you, you may want to have a 3D. You may want to have, okay, a more the more. The more we look after the trees, the more beautiful our world will be. Something along those lines. Okay? You may want a double ly ending. Okay? You may want an if, and then sentence. So if we look after the trees, if we treat them with respect, and if we mind what we're doing, then we can have a beautiful life. Okay? So think about those. All of those would round it off really lovely, wouldn't it? Okay? They are all on Seesaw. So please, if you're unsure, I've said it for the last 3 lessons, if you're unsure what Alan Pete sentences that you need to include, please look on there. If you are a stage 5 writer, you need to be putting at least 4 different sentences in. Okay. If you are a stage 4 writer, you put 3 in. Okay, but definitely, we're in year 5 now, we should be including those types of sentences. So please have a look if you are unsure. Okay. So, as always, well, as it has been this week, okay, you've got the same sheet again, and you've got a nice box for a little picture for you to add, okay? Now, I'm conscious then that you have then written every part of the story, all right? So then what you're going to do tomorrow is you're going to edit and improve and write it up. So this will be the time that if you read it when it's all together, if you put all those sheets of paper together and you read it, you think, actually, I don't like that. This is the time where you're going to change it tomorrow. All right. And you're going to be using those tools that we use to edit and improve. Okay. There will be a video on that. Okay. But just then you're aware, so try not to lose any of those sheets. Okay. And then I've given you a nice big writing frame so you can write it all up together really nice and neat.